I'm like barely up right now, but I told myself, I said, let me go ahead and get this the episode 8 review out before I don't feel like it, because I want to do some commentaries later. I want to do like some more reviews and shit. But I'm gonna just tell y'all, man. Like I'm gonna keep it a bean with y'all, like I always do. This episode had me in my feelings. Two scenes in particular. This episode had me in my motherfucking feelings, yo. I got teary eyed, yo. I don't care. I'm gonna just come right out and say it. The scene where, first of all, when Vic got that call, I thought it was like, somebody was calling him up, and they was like, listen, we saw you dumping somebody's body in a swamp again. You got to come with us for questioning. But they would have did that. They would have showed up at his doorstep. But all I could really hear was somebody say Victor Taylor on the other end of the phone. But then, when he told Tiff, he was like, they found Peaches. She in a hotel room. She overdosed. I was like, fuck. Cause I was rooting for Peaches to get her shit together, man. Every time she popped up, she would want to be in her kids' lives more and more, man. And Jake being the youngest, he was more open to her coming back around. He had questions. He was like, why you keep leaving? Trig wasn't with it. Reg set everything up on Mother's Day. That was an amazing episode, man. That was the episode that made me want a fucking Taylor Gang spinoff, because I loved their whole family dynamic, dysfunctional or not. So when he found out Peaches had overdosed, I was like, God damn, that's a shot to the heart. Then Reg got the call and he left out of bed with Candace. I think that's Reagan Gomez Preston's character's name is Candace. But when you see Reg, the shit that made me tear up the first time, when you see Reg talking about what we gonna do without our mom, and he was like, Trig was like, you got to tell him. He was like, I can't do it. He was like, I can't do this shit. Like, I'm not. This ain't me. I can't do it. Another thing that led up to that was a good lead up to that, was Reg actually opening up to Candace. And he was like, I miss my brothers. But, he tried it. He tried to do the tough shit. And he was like, this is why I don't like being with one bitch. And I don't like this emotional talking shit. He tried it, but he let his guard down. Like, Reg really opened up to this girl, man. And Candace, she does a lot of stupid shit since she's been on the show. But I like that moment of her, being his shoulder to lean on, man. Because, like, we need that shit sometimes, man. And, him just talking to Trig, and Trig was like, what did Trig tell him? Oh no, Reg told Trig, he's like, yo, he don't fuck with me. He don't want nothing to do with me, and neither do you. And I think Trig says something along the lines of, well, it's time for us to start being people that we want to be around, or something to that extent. And I was like, God damn, that was a great fucking scene between Trig and Reg, man, because they're not necessarily getting along with each other, but they're being civil enough just due to the circumstances and the loss that they just took. But the scene after that, like when they told Jake, Jake was upset, and he's like, last time you was here, you yelled at her. And I'm like, nigga, did you forget we all smiled at the end of the scene when the camera was panning out the window? Like, but the scene after that got me teared up, y'all. And I promise y'all, man, because I've been through shit like this on both ends. Of all people, man, Bakari being there for Jake, it wasn't really much he could do. It wasn't really much he could say. He's like, sorry, what happened to your mom? And Jake's like, me too. Passed him the lighter, passed him the L. Jake lit up. Bakari just put his arm around his shoulder, and I was like, fuck. I was like, y'all not gonna get me, man, because like, y'all know how it is when you lose somebody, or somebody that you love loses somebody. It's not really shit you can do, but just to be present means a lot, man. And when he embraced his boy, I'm like, God damn, these two they hated each other in season 4, yo. And I think season 5 or whatever season that was, where Gemma lost the baby or whatever, and Bakari had basically saved Jake from Nuck. And they kind of just nodded at each other, and that kind of squashed the beef, man. The brotherhood that they have developed, yo, is fucking amazing. Shad is great with the kids. I love the scene with Shad and the kids, and then him like coaching the kids, and then Riley kind of taking notice to that. And she's like, yo, like, it's a paid position if you want it. Shad about to get his shit together. Darnell about to give him the house. I feel like him and Patience is like, look, it's a big commitment that you asking for, moving in and being with my son. And he's like, yo, I'm here for it. I love that for Shad, man. If Shad could if he could stick with her, like, I know the season's ending, but it's like, if he could stick with her and just stop playing Superman for all these dead ex-girlfriends, I love that for him, man. Tiff is fucking demonic, yo. Like, every time she look at her watch, it says demon time. Every single time. Like, when they all were at the table sharing their stories and shit at her, I guess you could call it a bachelorette party. It was a really classy thing they had going on. And I do like, while it wasn't really like a conversation I could like be involved in, I do like that the ladies had their they had their moment. You know what I'm saying? They had their moment where they were exchanging stories and they were talking about their curiosities and things like that. I do like that. But Tiff, goddamn, man, like when she was like, sometimes ain't nothing wrong with taking a nigga out sometimes, and then she like it's like what the fuck you just say? Don't you know Keisha just lost her baby dad, and you did it. And you did it. Then she got up on the staircase with her, and then she's like, "Oh, thank you for being my friend." And we've been through so like it's like, God damn, girl, like you are out of control. But I'm wondering, is Keisha still gonna find out? Speaking of Keisha finding out shit, let me just say kudos to, and I know the sexy magician that was at Emmett's bachelor party. I know she wasn't shit, and she was a thief off IG, but that scene was fucking amazing. Like that's as a man. And I'm not objectifying, I'm not being a dog. I'm just saying, as a man, I feel like we have been lacking moments like that, man. Just a harmless bachelor party where the sexy magician was there doing all types of tricks. I like that she took Trig's chain right off his neck. He didn't even notice, and then she dropped it in his drink, and she said what she said to him. But that scene, man, that was something that the fellas have been needing. I love scenes that are like gravitated towards us with no strings attached. Like the scenes with the men's circle where they're having their therapy sessions, just venting to each other. How can we support you type of shit. But scenes like that where you're just letting men be men and just harmless fun. I loved that fucking sequence with that sexy magician, man. Like, and I like, did she have a fucking name, or did they just call her sexy magician throughout the whole thing? I thought that shit was hilarious. But then she ended up stealing Emmett's watch. And Keisha was fired up, ready to go when they was in bed. She tapped them, start kissing on them, got on top of them. But that was kind of weird that the first thing before you fuck them is like, where you watch at? Like, it's like, damn, can he get the dick in first? Like, and then you ask questions after y'all finish. But I can understand, because that was her thing. Instead of him wearing like a wedding band at the time, that was her thing, to like her proposal type of thing, I guess. So I can understand her frustration. But I do like that she came up to him later on and she apologized for getting upset, and she was like, we shouldn't let material things hold that much weight. But it was fucked up because she was like, I love you more when you're honest with me and you come clean about things. And the guilt on Emmett, I think Emmett's going to tell her. I'm hoping that Emmett don't go into this marriage like with deep, dark, dirty secrets and shit. I can understand why he don't want to tell her, but bro, you got to tell her. You got to tell her, bro. You got to chill. But this episode was one of the better ones, man. I really, really enjoyed this episode. The emotional weight was so unexpected in this motherfucker. But I'm telling y'all, man, it's really good. It's wrapping up. It's coming to a close. Bakari, I don't know what's going to happen with Bakari, because now we're even deeper into Menace to Society Kane storylines here, where he asked Lene to come to Atlanta with him. And Lene's like, yeah, fuck the crib. I don't even care. Like, I'm down. I'll come with you. And they told each other they loved each other. And that was that. So he's going to take Brittany up on the offer, his sister, and move to Atlanta, but he wants Lene to come with him. But mind y'all, Rafi's going to spin the block. Y'all think we saw the last of Rafi? We have not, yo. We have not seen the last of that dude. You think that dude's going to get stomped out like that and not spin the block? And I told somebody, I don't remember if it was on Instagram or what, but I was like, or TikTok or what, I was like, when we see Rafi again, he gonna have his goons with him. They gonna be locking and loading. They gonna be ready to ride. And I don't think it's gonna be Bakari that gets hit. I don't know if it's gonna be Lene. I don't know if it's gonna be Brittany. Somebody is going to die. A main player is going to die before the end of this series, yo. I'm telling y'all. And I don't think it's gonna be Bakari. It's too obvious. But episode was good, man. I know I probably missed a lot of points, and I feel like did I review episode 7? It's so much shit going on, man. I'm like losing track of the episodes. I don't even know how many more episodes we got left. But I'm about to rewatch episode 8 right now.